And we're live again. We went on a little break, and now we're back. And it's the morning and not the night, and things are very different. But we're really excited to be back streaming. I'm excited to be back streaming. Are you excited to be back streaming, Ian?
I'm excited. I have a cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, cheers.
I'm mostly cheers. I'm mostly awake.
I'm not. I've I've had 2 espressos so far. I had one from my coffee machine, ran out of coffee, and then I walked to the coffee roaster down Main Street, got a macchiato and a bag of coffee, walked back, and now this is the fruits of my walk. So I'm pretty excited about that.
This is only my second coffee this morning, but I think, yeah. So what we're saying is we're going to write a lot of code in the next hour or so.
Yeah, and the plan, I'm hoping, the rough plan for today is to explore some command line workflow stuff. This is a thing that I've just been really dorking out about lately in terms of like ways to use the Unix style of thinking of like every application does a tiny thing, and if you can pipe from lots of different tiny applications that do their tiny thing well, then you can do really cool, intricate, big things. And that also, there's a whole lot of like Mike Bostock, like NDJSON, command line, TopoJSON, data manipulation tools that we haven't really explored on the show yet, but are like a big part of my daily workflow and part of like it. I got into computers initially because I wanted to be a hacker, and I feel most like a hacker when I'm like in the command line and I'm like do 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 do, and it like starts spitting out all the data processed in the way I want. Like that has like a really cool emotional feeling. So I'm also chasing that dragon a little bit.
I'm with you, man. Like that was. It's also something that I feel it's very. I don't want to say private, but like you don't get a chance to share that with people that often, right? Like. And when I was at Google, there was a lot of times like that where I was like, write some scripts and it just stuff's going by on the command line, it's doing work and it just feels good. It's like things are happening. You set something in motion and like the results you're gonna harvest afterwards, and like, but no one gets to see it, right? So it'd be cool to try today to like include people in that process. Did you? I saw that. Hello, Hero Proto.
Yeah, what's up? I'm gonna try headphones. I thought I could get away with no headphones, but I guess I'll do it.
Let me know if I need to. Your mic switched to a much worse mic.
All right, on somehow. Skype. Yeah, give me 1 second. All right, while we do this, you have Homebrew all set up. Do you have Tmux and Vim installed?
Let's check out. So Brew. So I also just installed iTerm 2 for the very first time, which I don't know. Like, I think let's take a second too to talk about environments and setups, right? Like everything we've done on the show so far has been observable. Like in the browser, it's a great place to share work and make visual things. But like a lot of stuff happens in the command line when you know, just a lot of stuff happens there, right?
Yep.
And it's really important. But I've like always done minimal customization of my local environment. Like I do have some like Git color highlighting and a few things to be in Vim. But yeah, Homebrew is certainly like the first thing I install when I set up a new computer. So definitely have that. Tmux, I do not have.
I think it'll just make your life easier. Like.
I'm down. I've definitely used it in the past, and I've just been doing less command line stuff on a daily basis in the last.
Here's where I'll say it, and it might not come up today, but the use case where I think it's really useful is when you run a script that runs for a long time. You know what I mean? And like sometimes you might like forget about it and close the window, or you know what I mean, things like that. And it lets you do that and not break everything. You know what I mean? Like it keeps the instance running, and you can just open it back up and connect back to it and stuff. So for like that's the one case where like it's actually been like that's a lifesaver, like where it's needed. But I think other than that, it's like kind of a convenience thing where it just looks, again, you feel like a hacker when you have your like 2 panes and it's all laid out full screen. So it's kind of just more for the fun and the aesthetic. Yeah, so let's grab Tmux. I think you're better at Vim than I am. Like I've only really been getting into Vim over the past year. Like that's been a way to like get my pandemic brain to, you know, get fully overwhelmed with something, you know what I mean? And so that's like the main reason I've been doing it, as like a bizarre therapy, you know what I mean? But I'm curious to learn more from you about like ways of using it. I've been enjoying using it to like just forcing myself to use it, where like you said, using the basic setup, like not trying to get intricately customized and stuff, like trying to get as close to like a base setup as possible, and then like be able to have that knowledge like when I SSH into any server. You know what I mean? Like it's like the same reason like I drive a manual car. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to like hop on any system and be able to like work with it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I have been using Vim for a very long time, and there's like a sort of musical instrument quality to it,
Yes.
right? Where it's like, yeah, you learn the scales and you learn like what notes sound like, then like you can, anywhere you're at, you can kind of make some music. And VI at least is installed in like every single Unix and Linux system. So you're always gonna end up, you could use it anywhere. But it also makes, excuse me, makes me a much faster programmer. Like the keyboard shortcuts that you end up with, like you can just do more things quicker. And I end up using like Vim bindings in VS Code, or I think CodeMirror, like so even browser-based code editors can start like support like VI, some parts of it, Yeah.
So I'm gonna drop. I have a blog post that I wrote on like command line tools I like. So I'm just gonna drop it in the chat, and maybe we can go through a few of the things that this is like an old. I need to update this blog post, but there's a few things like JSON FUI or JQ. These are ways of like looking at JSON data in the command line that are really useful. Things like CSV kit, right? I'm sure you're familiar with all this stuff, but I'm just like, I'm going through my shopping list in my brain. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I've been really enjoying LazyGit.
I like some of these I have, but not all, definitely.
Some of them are more random as well. Yeah, NerdTree is a thing that is kind of essential for using Vim for me, I think.
Hey, Alex Garcia is in the chat.
Oh, what's up, man? Shout out.
Appreciated our description of Vim.
How's it going over?
Thanks for joining us.
You're still you're brew installing Tmux?
Yeah, I think that's what's happening right now.
And then
or it was updating too. I haven't updated in a while, so
that's like that's the journey we're gonna take. But what is our destination? Like, you have a data set you want to work with?
Yeah. So we're doing this big D3, like 10 years of D3 anniversary celebration, February 17th. So I've like tweeted about it and announced it. But basically, version 1.0 of D3 was released on February 17th, 2011, so 10 years ago. Remember, we were actually at Visually in the like summer of 2011, learning D3 back then. So
yeah, super throwback.
Yeah. So as part of that, we're actually going to do like a fun visualization contest / parade of like invite the community to create visualizations of the 10 years of history.
Interesting.
And one of the things I've been doing is preparing data sets for that. So what I was hoping we could do for just a short time is download the Git commit history for all the D3 modules, like for D3 itself and all the modules. Because like at some point when D3 version 4 came out, it split from one like mono repo into like 30 different modules. And you could actually see that, like I'll show it in a second, or maybe I can show it now. I'll just open a new tab.
What'd you call it? It's like a D3 parade or something like that?
Oh, no. Yeah, so the idea being that like we'll put out these data sets and we'll invite people to make their own visualizations of the history, and then we'll have some like prizes. It'll be but we call it a parade because we don't want it to be like this like super formal contest. it's more like, you make a float and like everyone celebrates it, but like
Totally.
we'll have some superlatives that are like, most creative use of time, or most, like, I don't know, best use of D3 version 3, or I don't know, like random stuff that's like, and we're going to give out prizes like books, DataVis books, and like courses and stuff like that. So it'll be like, I think, fun for everyone. And
So we're gathering source data to give to the users to visualize.
yeah, exactly. That's one thing I want to do, and I think it's going to be a nice, it's a nice contained effort. It's like I have a good idea of what's involved in getting this data and what's involved in processing it, and I think it will demonstrate. It's not too big either, so like we're not going to be waiting too much for anything. But like, I mean, I'll just give you a sense what the raw data would look like is if you do git log.
Wait, hold on. So you skipped ahead a little bit. So we're finding, so the source data is going to be Git data?
The source data is going to be the commit data. Yeah, so that's what I was going to show, is like that we actually need to take like text and turn it into structured data, which is like a very thing that we do kind of thing, right?
Totally. I'm just saying, so basically you're trying to give the D3 community a bunch of data to play with for this event. And one of the, like, is it the only data set you're going to give? But like a huge data set is all of the Git commits for all of the various D3 modules, you're saying.
It is going to be, yeah, it's like, this is going to be one of the data sets.
Got it.
And I'm putting, someone's asking about the event, so I just put a link in the chat for the celebration kickoff. So Alex says there's a tool that can help us get stuff.
Sick.
But parsing raw Git sounds like more fun. I think it is going to be more fun. It's going to be like fairly, I think it's a good little exercise too, because we'll go through all the motions. So like, even if it wasn't a Git thing that you want to do later, like this is how I approach a lot of this kind of project, where it's like, oh, I have a lot of text. I need to write some command line scripts, and like EJ said, I'm gonna like use a bunch of little tools in the process and pipe them to each other, and maybe I write scripts that run other scripts, and then at the end of the day, though, I'm gonna get something that's like nicely prepared for cooking.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, it's sort of like building a factory, right? Like if you, like we keep pushing the food metaphor further and further, and like to the breaking point. But it's almost as if like by making a pancake, you also made a pancake factory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you just do this step once in this way, then you get the ability to do it that way forever. You know what I mean? As long as you think about it in like, that's what a makefile is in the end, like a sort of list of incantations. It's a recipe book for a bunch of ingredients, right? And right now we're going to pull these tools, which I guess the processing, it's like the things needed to make the factory, but once you have it done, then we can do this with this type of data set forever.
Yeah. And I found like what happens too is like the next thing that we want to do, it may not, like, you can't like retool the factory exactly, but like having done it, there's gonna be like many parts of it that'll make it so much faster to do this, right? Like kind of thing. And every time you do go through the whole process of making the factory, I feel like you get new things at your disposal, right? Like, anyway, so
totally. So what does Git log data look like? I have no I've used Git as a user, right? I know how to commit and pull and push, but I've never experimented with like the source data. I know Simon, who does Dataset, was playing around, I think, with doing SQLite, like Git commits the SQLite or something or in that area. So I'm curious to see, just like, I don't know what Git log even does, you know?
Yeah, let's look at it. So at the very basic level, if you do git log, it's just going to show you things like the commit hash, the author, when it was, and maybe like the message, right? So like if it's a merge, you can, and then I hit space and it's going to keep going back in time and showing these few things. The thing is, though, you can ask it to do more things. So you can say this compact summary. So I have like looked up some of this stuff, recently, like as I was preparing to do this work, and then we decided to stream. So I was like, let's try this. Oh yeah, sorry, that did work. So like if you do compact summary, you get stuff like this,
Oh,
which you're
that's
used to
cool.
seeing when you do your commit message, when you actually commit something, right?
But not exactly data.
So this is still not exactly data, but now I'll show you there's more stuff you can do. Like you can say git log, and then I have this, so pretty format. And for instance, like if you do like H, I think is like the header. What did I do?
Equals?
Pretty equals formats. Yeah. So this is just
Whoa.
the hash of the commits. So like if we did just that, or if I do, there's like a AD, that's just the date, right? So you can like pull parts of the Git message
Interesting.
like that, or if I do H colon like that.
All right, I want to play. So back up. So I want to get my workspace looking like your workspace. So you have D3 pulled. You like D3?
Right now I'm in a submodule D3Es. I do also have D3.
Yeah. So teach me how
So
you got
D3 is
D3 and
probably where we should be
D3Es, because I want to replicate this on my local so I can also do things.
Yeah. You'll probably want D3. Yeah, like I would get D3 and D3Es. Like one of the things we're going to do probably once we get this going for one repo or like one of the submodules is to write a script that pulls down all of the modules for us and then runs our script on all of them, right? So like, but yeah, like usually always start with like a specific example of something.
So I just clone D3, and then you just git clone D3Es next to it or inside of it?
Yeah, just in the same folder. Just like,
all right.
I just have those two.
Okay, so now I cd into D3Es, and then you do git log. All right.
And then you see, that shows you what happened basically.
Sick, and then you do git log pretty equals format colon %h colon %ad.
Yeah, I'll like put the thing in the chat too.
Sick.
And then
so handy.
But there's a more full, like I have a more full one.
Oh, you hacked us some codes?
Also, oops. Is it, I wonder if people tell me if like the font's big enough, like I can keep.
I did it until it was like 80 wide for tradition.
How can I tell if it's 80 wide?
In my Vim, I have a line that marks out where 80 is, but you'd have to have that.
I don't have that. Okay, well anyway,
in the chat, CL Henrik asks, what would be the difference between this approach and using the GitHub API?
I guess the main difference is that this is all happening on your local computer with the Git. Like it's not GitHub related. You could use the GitHub API, but in a way, this is a more sense of truth. Like, you know, it's like the Git repo itself has everything we want to pull from it. So we don't have to hit an API. But, you know, fundamentally, the result will be the same if you use the GitHub API.
There's a sense that is hard for me to express, but there's something just innately kind of cool about pulling this straight out of Git. Like one part of it is that it's extensible, like you could use it for any repo, and another is that it fits into that Unix style of thinking where if we make a cool script, it can just be another little tiny tool that you can use to visualize any repo. Like it just, the part of my brain that likes it when things fit neatly really likes that, you know?
Yeah.
Can you pull your terminal window like 50 or 100 pixels down? Maybe so it sits at the bottom of your screen instead of the top.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, don't resize it, just pull it down. Perfect. Perfection.
Won't move any more than that. So, oh crap.
Yo, Hell on Earth is, what's up?
Hey. So Yeah, I agree. I think that like the other nice thing about doing with just Git is that like you could write this script and it could run on some random server that has no internet access, or like if you were doing some kind of like cloud function thing, or like you want to be able to take any Git repo and like do this, then you're not depending on GitHub or like making requests. Yeah, it just feels compact. Which is also nice for us in this is like we need less context. Like Git log is like included in Git, right? Like so we don't have to explore any other API. We're just like parsing this text. So what I'm doing now is like I'm using there's more of these shortcuts. So there's a whole page of like, and I'll drop a link to it.
Share the page.
For the documentation of Git log, which is it's a very long page, and I spent
Sick.
a bit of time staring at it the other day.
I want to stare at it.
So when I do this, what I'm doing is I'm saying like I want each of these pieces of data separated by a little pipe thing. We could basically choose whatever separator we want. But then it has the date, and then it has the author name, and then it has
Hey, look
the
at
message.
you made a pipe separated V. Value, whatever, PSV.
Yeah. And then though we could say you can give it more options like the date is short.
Wait, sorry. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Before you go deeper, can we start saving these out as you do it, right? So that if you do the like arrow, you can save it to like whatever it is, name or whatever d3 data.tsv1. Or you know what I mean? Just so we have the
I think what I'm gonna do is make a like data folder here. And so then
data. That's the stuff.
Oops. So then if I look at data d3s, then it's basically like the output of that command.
Exactly. All right, so I'm gonna, I have another dope command line tool that I would like to integrate.
Sure.
It's like cat, but it's better. It's called bat.
Okay.
It gives you formatting and JSON prettification and all this stuff for, like, just, it makes it easier to work in the command line and look at things. So just hit me with a brew install bat real quick.
So let me do that over here. I guess I have tmux now.
Yeah.
Which would be nice.
It would be great to remap it so that it uses Control B as the default. I don't know if you know, have you used tmux or Screen before?
I think I use Screen mostly.
I come from Screen too. So I come from Control A, N, and P, basically. You know what I mean? Where you just like have windows and then you like next and previous through them. So in tmux, it's Control B by default, which I don't know who would want that. It's the worst finger contortion in the world. So I remap it back to Control A, but I don't. Let's just let me just open my tmux config file and see if there's anything cool in there I can paste into the chat to make your life easier real quick.
Oh, look at this. This is bat.
Yeah. Gives you line numbers.
All right.
Got some weird stuff going on. I guess you don't want new lines. You know what I mean?
Well, all right. So, let me add some more stuff to this thing because I think that there's like a couple more things to add, and then we'll have like a real data set, and we'll have to like. So I'm gonna remove merges. There's no merge. Don't care about merges. I'm gonna add that compact summary, and I'm gonna add tags. I'm just gonna overwrite this one because like no merges. And then also I love using the exclamation mark to do the last command
Oh,
that I
that's
did. Do you
cool.
ever use that?
No, in the command in Zish,
Yeah, it works. I learned it in Bash too.
just everywhere.
Um,
That's pretty sick. No, I did not know
but
that.
yeah, it just basically pulls up the last command that was like started with those same letters. So if you end up running like two scripts that are, it's like you're running bat to look at something, you're running the other script, you could like
We need like
use
I want like an animation and some like cool like music and sound effects where it's like command line tip whoosh whoosh whoosh.
that. We'll get there for sure.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
Um,
So I just looked in my tmux configuration file, and basically what I did is, I pasted it in the chat, is this guy has his tmux configuration file in a GitHub repo, and I basically just cloned it into mine, and it made life much better.
nice. All right. Well, I will do that if and when we get to tmux
Totally.
this stream. Otherwise, I'll do it.
What did we just need it for, though? There's a reason
Oh, we
we ended
didn't.
up here. Oh, it's because
Just because
we
I,
wanted
like,
to have
tmux was installed.
we wanted to have two windows to do something, though. I forget why. Oh, one to look at the file and one to edit it, right, or something like that. Anyway,
Is that what you're
definitely went down a
thinking?
rabbit hole. You were making us a pipe separated file, but it looks like it's got a hella new lines in it.
It does, because the messages do so. One thing we could do is we could make it some other separation to end each segment.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
Or to start each one. So if we like came up with some weird thing that's never used. So here's a problem, right? It's like this actually uses pipes to separate them.
Interesting. How do we teach it? Can we just write JSON in our format thing?
Well, yeah. Here's the thing that I like.
You hated that.
Normally you could maybe do that.
You had a visceral negative reaction to that suggestion, and I want to talk about it.
The thing is that like I like to keep this stuff simple and then have my parsing stuff be like JavaScript code that's gonna make JSON. Like,
Hey, wait, let's use the thing
like
that I bet the tool Alex pasted like 20 minutes ago can do all this.
Oh yeah, like I'm sure it does.
All right, we're just trying to be gangsters about it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Like this isn't hard. It's just like, okay, we choose two things. If we say that like this is the start of each new one, and then I don't
Alex
know,
says we should use two pipes to separate it, which I think is a great idea.
I have thought exactly that. And we could use.
Too good.
I'm just looking at my keyboard, looking for things that would be fun to use.
That's such an American solution. I don't know why.
Is that American?
It feels like American. They're like, yeah, just put two. Increase.
Yeah.
Why not emojis? Another great question.
Fuck. Let's do emojis.
All right, love it. What's our separation
my
emoji? First person to put an emoji for separation in the chat wins the emoji game.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll browse for potential.
Can you do knife? Knife emoji?
That's pretty clear. Okay. All right, Alex, with your barf emoji.
Yeah, that doesn't win the contest.
I think knife is gonna have to be because that's what we're like.
It's
All right, so I should.
a cooking show. Chop 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 chop.
Oh,
chop.
what did I do? All right, and then what should the new line be?
Hey, how are you editing your text all quick and fun like that?
Oh, I copy pasted the emoji and then I'm just.
No, the way you
using arrows.
navigate that, you're just using the arrows to. You're not like.
Oh yeah, I'm using Vim mode.
Yeah, well, teach me and the people what the fuck you're doing. It's magic.
There's a setting you can do. This is frustrating that it doesn't high term is not
T-Mux
keeping
would
the font
fix it.
size. Figure that out. Huh?
T-Mux would fix it. You said it in T-Mux.
Tmux would fit. Yeah.
Or you could edit your iTerm2 profile to edit your default profile and make the text like whatever it is now, 24.
Do I not have a, like...
Hey.
I thought I had my profile here.
Oh, I have a fun
Or
tip.
is it ZS?
So instead of LS law, you can just do LL in Zish. That's pretty sick. That's all I got.
I don't know if because yeah, like, since the new Mac switched to Zish, like, I haven't really...
So how do you get into Vim
Figured
mode on
all
the
this out.
command line? Teach me.
That's what I don't know. Like, I can't tell right now where...
But how do you do it? Like, just what do you hit to get into it?
Oh, escape.
Escape?
So you have to, like, set a setting that your terminal uses VI as its editing mode.
Okay.
And it's not working the way I'm used to either. So, like, it's usually I would actually navigate with the HJKL, but I'm using the arrow keys.
Okay.
And I think if I just, like, run this... Yeah, there's the knife emojis, so that's cool.
I like that. That's pretty sick.
So we just need, like, instead of the new line, or, like, we need to start each line with another emoji.
Got it.
And I guess since no one has provided something better than Alex...
Yeah,
I'm
we can
gonna
use the
Alex.
barf emoji.
It's like barfing a new line. I mean,
It is.
this is a cooking show, so...
Yeah, it doesn't... I'm all right, fine.
No, I don't think my Vim mode is actually turned on right now. It wouldn't do all this stuff.
Okay. It felt like you were like jumping words and stuff and doing lots of fancy things.
Is it barf? Is it going to show up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Fucking excellent engineers at the Apple Corporation. It was too fancy to go
All right,
in.
well, the terminal doesn't like that.
Terminal
It's not
rejected it.
No.
That's funny.
Bar chart? Wine?
Do the maple leaf.
I guess it's kind of... Wait, do they have coffee? Obviously, it should be coffee, right?
Yeah. You're so smart.
No! Oh, no, yeah, it's there. Okay.
Great.
Right?
Yeah, love it.
All right, so I want to copy this coffee thing.
I like this.
Oh, I don't need to copy it. It should just work.
I like
All
what we've
so
made.
then, yeah, I got a cup of coffee for everything.
I'm sorry to go on about this, but like what about this is so satisfying? Because it's not like, you know what I mean? Like it's not that fancy or crazy, but it like just feels really good in a way that's hard to put into words. Like it's just so cute. It's such an adorable little thing that you've done. Thank you, Helen Earthis, for the suggestion. I really like it. I really like our coffee and knife separated Git log. It's so good.
Yeah, I guess I gotta name it something. Or it's coffee separate. So instead of, I mean, it could be CSV, coffee separate. I guess KSV.
Can you put the coffee emoji SV?
We're really like
Is that allowed?
pushing. Yeah, like I don't know. Will entire operating system like support us in this? Let's try it.
Yes.
Coffee SV.
Love it. I've never seen that
Or is
before
it
in my
coffee
life.
knife SV? I don't know.
It might
Well,
be
it's just
knife
the best.
SV. No, it won't let you do that.
Oh, I did. That's because the file didn't exist.
Oh.
So you want knife SV?
Yeah, I think that's more. It just seems appropriate.
There used to be like I used to know the keyboard shortcut to pull up my emoji picker.
Back in our
All
youth.
right, so now
I just taught you how
we
to
have
do that.
knife SV.
Do LL. I'm saving.
I don't like L because it doesn't do all. So
You can do LL.
oh, it does do all.
Yeah,
Why did it not show me? It doesn't show hidden things.
Yeah, LLH, I guess. I'm just trying to save you small increments of time across your day.
I appreciate that.
Forever.
I appreciate that. Well, that's also, I just have to see in my Finder.
That's a pretty sick excavator you got up there.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. I was actually inspired by this diagram I found online.
Do they
I
make
don't know. I feel like
will you buy your son and me a 3D model of an excavator to play with, please?
yeah, no, this is actually from somebody who did a CAD. It was like a CAD project for their portfolio to make an excavator.
Yeah, I want one.
So,
That looks like fun.
okay. Yeah. Now you know what all the parts are called too.
Totally. I want to spin them around and like, I don't know.
All right, so here's
Sorry.
where you may protest, but like
Oh,
give
look
me
at this
one
guy.
second
I'm just.
to like
Are you gonna load our knife SV?
yes.
Great.
So what I want to do
I don't protest.
is upload this. And then I guess I'll do D3. And D3 has a CSV parse. I don't know.
Well, no, it has a
I might have to do this manually.
No,
but
it has like an anything separated value function. I'm 90% sure. Like underneath D3 CSV is just like anything.
nice. All right, let's well, yeah, so we could do that, or we could do it manually. Because we have these nice emoji thing, right? Like manually, like let's just see what happens if you basically split on the emojis, right? So if we say lines
So,
is test.split.
sorry, it's D3.DSV parse. And then you give it the separator.
Nice. So this gives us a line. The problem is we're using two different separators,
Yes.
or like a copy instead of the new line.
I concur. That is a problem.
But then, yeah. So then if we do like, I guess we would like map over each line.
Yeah, and what, you're gonna convert our knives into new lines like a gangster?
Well, no, like each one of these things would be.
Oh, and then you're gonna join them back together with new lines. You're such.
Well, I don't need new lines necessarily.
Oh,
I
I
want
see.
these to be then like the data, right?
Oh, I see. You're already you jujitsu'd the whole problem. Yes, I love this.
Yeah. So we pretty much have.
Has anybody ever told you you're very good at programming, Ian? You got a brain for this
I've heard it once or
programming
twice,
thing.
but it, you know, doing it for a while, so some things are easier. All right, so yeah, I mean, this is kind of like pretty close because really now we could just instead of only splitting the line, like if I were to like fully make this a
So there's only
thing, I would
158
say,
commits in D3Es, is what you're trying to tell me?
yeah, non-merge commits in that one. Well, yeah, we could like let's do a very basic JSONifying of it.
Okay.
So where we would say something like, you know, hash is L0, date is L1.
Okay.
And then
Message.
Yeah, I think, or well, author.
Right.
L2.
Oh, by the way, the first thing my gut wanted to do when you showed me the data was make a fucking force layout about the authors. That sounds sick.
Force layout of the authors. Okay.
Yeah, across all the repos. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's good. I think this is message. So let me look at the original command that we used because it was like, oh, it's subject and then body. Those are the two things. So this is like.
Oh, the two parts of a
subject of the message
Got
and then body.
Hell on Earth is
and the body contains the summary. What's up?
Hell on Earth was asking if this will make it easier to add hierarchy to the data. But I don't think there really is hierarchy necessarily, right? Like, we don't get what's inside a merge. Like, we just get the top level commit.
The hierarchy depends on what they mean by hierarchy. Um, you could like nest this or group it or do stuff like
You could
that,
nest it
right?
by the
Where
submodules, right? So you could have a hierarchy of each repo, each subrepo.
yeah. Um, yeah, so this I think like, I'm happy with this for right now because like we could further process the body to get these like one of the things I was thinking is that having the number of insertions and deletions and files changed would be an interesting numerical data to add to each commit, right? Like if you're thinking about how you might visualize all these commits,
Yes.
like the first thing we kind of want to do is look at
Yeah,
time.
do you want to parse out our body by pipes or something?
Well, what I'm thinking is that we save that, and what we do next would be to go back to the command line and do the sort of like I've done it once, let's do it for everything, which is like a magical feeling too, right?
Yes.
Like this is kind of now like wrangled in a way, right? It's like we can push it further and get more stuff, but I mean, it's part of why I like jumping into a notebook here is that like these couple lines of JavaScript, while it's fairly straightforward here in this case, we could easily copy those into a node script and just like have it spit out the JSON for
That's the thing
us.
I was going to ask and that I want to explore with you, which is that what you have now is basically like get history. Oh, before we forget, can you copy in the command you did to make your knife SV into that notebook? And
Yes.
then what does it look like to make this knife SV processor reusable in other notebooks? And the reason I ask that is because, like, say now we have this process you made this processing. How do you can we pull in more? I want more repos. You know what I mean? I want every single repo formatted like this in a place where we can then look at that data across things. Or do you not want to go that big yet?
Oh, sorry, I don't think tags helped us. I'm just going to simplify this.
What's wavy, wavy, wavy bash?
It gives you the formatting. So if you do JS here, it
No,
would
but I
format as
usually do tick,
JavaScript.
tick, tick. I didn't know that tilde was an option.
Yeah, I think if you do tildes with the name, it will format it correctly,
Okay.
and you don't have to do the tick 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 in observable is annoying because you have to do it like that. You have to escape the
Yeah, I
ticks.
know.
Yeah, so this is better that way.
It's really annoying. Thanks for this tick, tick, tick method. Who knew?
Let me go ahead and publish this and share in the chat so that
You know, sometimes I'm glad we have a show.
yeah, we get to learn from each other. Yeah. All right, so yeah, I mean, I guess one thing that I would like just to like enjoy the results a little bit, like if I say, because then I want to answer your question about like making it reusable, but like, so in this one notebook, I just named it test. I didn't name anything, and then we're doing these steps, but I could do like d3.min commits.
All right, wait, before you go that far, it's 11:58. We've basically been doing this for an hour. Do you want to talk about what our next step is and then take a quick break and then do it?
Yeah, yeah. I think this is a great stopping point because we've basically established like our data collection, right? Like we run this command, we output it to a file, then we upload the file into observable, wrote a little bit of JavaScript to parse the data into a structured format, and then we can do things like use d3min, find the earliest commit easily, and we can visualize it, all that good stuff. But now I think the next thing we want to do is, like looking at the D3 repo. And if I do, bat package.json, where's all the dependencies, right? Like there's all these modules and I want the commit history for all the dependencies of D3. So that's not something I want to like manually, you did it earlier in the show. You like clone D3Es and then we write like, we've done all that once. Let's do it for everything all at once. And then like, I feel like that shouldn't be too hard.
Can you show us again what that data looks like for like the D3Es repo?
This data?
Yeah. So like we're gonna get this JSON data that we've created for like every single repo in the D3 organization, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna have basically like a summary of every single commit for D3.
And then we're gonna give
Across
that to
like
the D3 community for everybody to
we're gonna give
visualize.
that to the D3 community and say like, have fun visualizing it. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Nice.
All right, so we'll be back in like 5-10 minutes or so. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully getting to make it big and get some visuals going by the end of the episode. See you guys soon.
Yeah.
We're back. We're live. It's 12:10. We're so punctual on this particular break. I'm pretty proud of us. We have about 30 minutes left, roughly. And so far on the show, we have basically gone and taken the Git history for a particular repo, and Ian whipped up a really cool magical incantation to get it to spit out a format that we've entitled knife SV, which is a knife emoji separated data file. And then Ian made a notebook that then parses it and turns it into JSON, which is a format that the world is more familiar with and that we can reuse and do more cool things. And now that we have it working on one repo, I'm really excited to try and get it to work on a whole bunch of repos at once. So we talked before about how when you're working in the command line, you sort of spin off factories. So now that we have it working in one place, I'm curious to see how we can get it working for all of the D3 repos.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, and this is something where, I probably want to talk it out before doing something, but like the way I think about this is that there is a structured list of all the repos I want, right? Like there are all these D3/whatevers, right? So like we use D3Es, which I had already randomly had cloned on my computer for some reason. If you do, I think git config -L, it's going to show you like the repo it's at, right? So it's like GitHub D3Es. Or alternatively, if we went to like GitHub D3Es, and we want to get the code, probably do it this way. Like the URL is pretty simple, right? It's just like the name, repo name. So whenever you have something like this, where you have a list of things, and then you just want to probably type, if we do it for, let's say D3 Zoom,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It would just be git clone. Oops, I didn't know that copied it. I think it should just be this, right? Or .git.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I do LL, upon your suggestion, I have D3 Zoom here. And then we have the command that we want to run inside D3 Zoom. So like if we think about the steps in our factory, it's like take a repo off the list, clone it, and then run the command, save the file. And then once we have once we have that file, turn it into JSON. And then, then we'll have a bunch of JSON files. We can like either combine them or upload them.
So now we find ourselves in like a fundamental crossroads, given the plethora of options we have we know how we want our data cooked. And the question I have for you is, do you want to do it in a Node script? Do you want to do it in a Makefile? Do you want to do it in a bash script? Like, what is the format that what the steps you just said? You take the repo from dependencies, you clone the repo, you run the script, you write your file, and then you do the next one in the list, right? So there's a bunch of ways we could accomplish that. Like the most based way is to by hand copy and paste over and over, right? So what's what to you is the spectrum of options from here?
Well, I've tried Make in many different ways. I've tried bash scripts. I always end up back in a Node script, like a Node.js script, because like doing things like, I don't know, like just adding a little bit of programming to rename stuff. Like it always just seems easier to figure out in Node. Like, and also because it's just JavaScript, like if I do, like once I get a file, I can pull it in Node. I can like take that, like for example, the observable code that we had up here. Like I can literally copy paste this script, couple lines, and then like have that be part of my pipeline.
So do you want to make like do you want to touch like clone all repos.js.mjs or what? I don't know.
Sure. Or I would do it like yeah, just say clone.js, right?
All right, simple, classy.
Yeah. So one thing I do a lot, I don't know if you do that, like Control Z stops it, right? And then I can do something, and then FG brings it back.
No, I
You
had
ever do
no
that with Vim?
idea. No, what? No, that sounds sick.
I learned this from my advisor. Like the way I learned Vim, or the reason I learned Vim was like in grad school, I had a class, and my advisor, he wasn't my advisor yet, professor. It was like live coding C++ in the command line with Vim, and he would just like brrr, and then do that, like Control Z, and then bring it back, and like I was like, I need to be that fast. Like I want to be able to like think like that. And
Yeah,
so
he's our elder.
yeah,
He's in our live coding DNA.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, there's that. So yeah, so
Do you need to
the
do
clone
do you
JS,
have to
right?
do like the bin sh stuff to run it?
You could do that. I mean, what I usually would do is just say node clone.js.
Gotcha.
And then this is where,
And
like,
are you
as I'm
are you gonna
iterating, right?
execute
So
command line stuff through Node in the script? Like, are you gonna run our git history command in the repo?
I might. Yeah, maybe not in this
I
script, but
might.
maybe in the next one.
We'll see. You'll see.
It's certainly, yeah, it's like, that is something, like, to do the cloning, I will probably do that. So, like, it'll be something like read, I mean, like, I like to comment what I'm gonna do, right? Like,
I got
read,
ahead of us. We have to read, yeah, from the package JSON to find out what our
and
dependencies
then, like,
are.
loop through dependencies, clone each repo. Like, I kind of, you could then go and say, like, then do the processing. But what I typically like to do is have like a script like this only do one thing. So you'll like clone all the repos, then they're there, and then the script will kind of assume that all the repos are there.
Okay, so you're
Like it
being more
won't.
modular, better Unix thinking.
Yeah, like I tend to like
So we'll have a
default
clone
to like I want the
JS,
files.
make data JS, and like whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you need FS,
So then this is where
right?
that exclamation mark comes in. Is that like, and for some reason it's not just running the command in Bash. It would like if I just do this, it would run the command. Right now it's giving me the command, and then I have to hit enter again, which is,
That's so
painfully
many. That's a
slow.
lot of typing. Yeah, who wants that?
Yeah. So, all right. So we can just go ahead and start though, right?
We stand.
Like,
Yes.
all right. And then, oh, that's interesting. It's auto commenting. So I like also just always do like the synchronous stuff.
Yes.
In
Same.
Node.
No, that's where it's mind blowing to try and do it the other way in Node scripts. I don't know who's doing that, except for Alex, I guess.
I mean, I feel, if you're doing
That reminds me. That was the other thing I wanted to do is since you made your sick ass notebook that does the processing we want in a script, I really wanna know, just from my command line to observable workflow, like you said, you could copy the code in. That's well and fine, but I feel like there's tools out there to like use that code in your Node script. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what half of what observable pre-render does, right?
That is a good question for Alex, I think. So you're saying like where we could run the notebook from our command line?
Yeah, exactly. So you're writing a Node script now which clones. Imagine we did that. We clone, we loop through, and now we're in our make data script. And half of the make data script is in that observable notebook that we already made. So really, it should include that notebook, pull knifesv to JSON, and run it on each knifesv file, right? And then when we
Yes.
improve knifesv on observable, then we just rerun it and get all those improvements, right?
That would be pretty cool. Yeah. So I don't know.
Clones.
Clones. Hey, it worked. I don't know actually what it would take to treat basically kind of what you're saying is like treat the notebook as an API or something.
Yes.
Like it's almost like not a temporary API, but it's like
well, it's where I keep my tools.
API.
Like another example, like if we want to use like a really cool Machio tool in the command line, like we could just pull in his toolkit and pull a function from it or something, right? Like then I can keep all my little tools and observable and use them anywhere.
That would be pretty sweet. I did see, I do think Alex has mentioned, because he even mentioned like you could treat a cell name as an endpoint.
Right.
Which would make it really cool.
That's what I want.
But I don't know how to do that right now.
All right.
Microservices, yeah.
All right, I digress. So now we're just trying to get well, you already sort of did it, right? You want a list of every dependency, and you're doing that right now.
Yeah. But I think I need to do, because it's not a,
it's giving you values back for it, yeah. Depends.
All right, so that's the list of dependencies.
How did it get formatted like that?
I think it's Node's way of formatting arrays.
That's pretty cool. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
all right, sorry, I'm easily distracted this morning. So you have your sick ass list.
It's all good.
And now we need to make a string for our clone command that we put the name into? Question mark?
Exactly. So, or I like doing
backticks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's going to be what? HTTPS
github.com/d3
repo.
Yeah, .git.
And so what we need to be doing is like .git. Thank you. So, all right, if we did depends for each repo.
I love that you called it depends. I'm a child.
The thing is that this is going to do it synchronously. It's a synchronous loop, but the command is going to be asynchronous. So there's like an async library, which I often use.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like the right way to do things anymore, but I memorized it a long time ago.
We're not really about right on this show, are we?
No, we're about like getting.
We're about it existing.
Results.
We're the ugly food of code.
Ugly delicious.
Ugly delicious. Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. But what is it? Node exec, I think, is the command. Child process.
Yeah. All the things that my parents told me not to use. They said if you're ever writing Node, don't write Node exec.
Yeah, but I think this is like standard out. Yeah. Yeah, so if you do...
So the threat model here is that if somebody wanted to hack us, they would add a dependency with like RMRF to D3's package JSON, and then we would run this. What the fuck kind of C is that?
Kind of what?
The C in your exec is like communist. Am I tripping?
How so?
Oh, I had some stuff on my screen. It looked crazy. Oh no, you have your cursor on it. That makes sense.
Is it... Can I do this? I always forget this kind of syntax. No, damn it. Well, it worked. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to error.
That's pretty cool.
Like usually this would have some kind of... I didn't get there because I was like, I'm pretty sure this is going to fail. It didn't fail. This would have like error, standard out, standard error.
I liked that. I liked how we like accidentally made 20 million repos. That's what happens when you do a for each and you're working with computers.
Yeah, I mean, the way I would do this...
Why are you doing this? This is not a show about cleaning up after you've done the thing. Yeah. One day, handle the errors that you'll never get because you're fucking great at programming.
Yeah, real chefs don't. No.
Yeah. Real chef shit is what I thought you were gonna
Real
write.
chefs don't have errors.
Real chefs don't have errors is too good.
All right. Well, I mean, that's that. This script is done. Yeah, and I mean, maybe we'll upload it to a gist.
We'll turn that into Knife SV there, bud. We got 10 more minutes or so.
Oh shit. All right. Well, sure. Typically what I do once I have a working script is I copy it and then, so this is going to be like knife.js then
Love it.
.js.
Oh, because this will let us know all our repos now, so we don't have to read file directories and stuff.
Exactly. So the command will just be our knife commands. Actually, yeah, I didn't even intend for it to be like that part be easier, but you're right. So this will be...
I don't know what I'm right about, but yes, I am right.
So instead of D3Es, we're going to put this in data again. This will be repo. Do we need the 001s?
Yeah.
You want them?
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, so we do need to do this. We need to like cd into repo.
Wild.
And then we run the command.
And it puts it back into the main folder.
And it puts it, yeah, it's like it's going to put it into the data folder when we write it that way.
And you have a data folder in there.
Yeah, so like the data folder is here.
Cool.
So let's try it. Ew, all right.
This is cool. Why, again, I don't want to keep, but like, why the fuck does this feel so good? Like, why does it feel, like, that's really fun and cool to just be like, boop, 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 like it just ran a million times.
I don't know, it was fast too, right?
Yeah, it was super fast. I think that's another argument for using the command line versus like API calls and stuff is we don't realize how bad we have it, I guess, with, you know what I mean? Like computers are fucking fast if they don't have to like introduce like wires and connecting across continents and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess the only, like the other thing to do is like the JSON thing, right? So turn our knife files into JSON.
Love it.
So I'm gonna vim JSON.js. So with this one, we don't need a command because we're gonna actually run JavaScript.
Or you're gonna process it in the Node script.
Yeah, so like, well, we will do, let's say, let text is fs.read file sync. And it will be something like data repo.0.01. Oh crap, knife emoji. That's the one hard thing about emojis. If I need to like, I guess after this show, I'm gonna invest in like making emojis like really easy to type somehow.
Oh, I use, do you use Alfred?
No.
Alfred is like a Spotlight replacement, and there's an add-on you can get that lets you have the emoji library, and then I just have it set up to command space. So if you just do command space colon and then start writing the emoji name, then it pops up.
Sick. I would definitely look into that. All right, so we have the same set of code that we've been doing, right? We're looping through all the dependencies. We're going to read the text file that we just that we made for each repo. And then this is what I was talking about earlier is like we can just take these JavaScripts. Like I really should just rename that to text. Like this should be text. This is text. And then it's just like literally
yeah.
this. And then
I'm so
we just
glad we picked JavaScript as the thing we write. We really lucked out. All these C# idiots, what are they doing? Sorry, C# idiots.
No hard feelings.
No hard feelings, C# idiots. You know. You guys already know.
Now, okay, here's a couple of things we could do. So we JSONify it, stringify commits. So this should do this. So let's. Oh, text split is not a function. All right, what did I do wrong? Dot toString.
Cool.
All right, so we have our JSONs.
What's exclamation point no? That's like node, the last node thing I ran?
Yeah. So no, if I hit tab, it like auto completes it to be like the command that started with no.
Crazy.
All right, so this worked. We got our JSON. The thing though I kind of want is like a single CSV. Well, okay, there's a couple of things I want after this, right? And maybe we should talk about it. We have a JSON for every repo.
Love it. Amazing. It's 12:30, by the way.
So we still have a little time. We haven't done D3 itself. We should totally do D3 itself.
Agreed.
We could just do that manually.
Just do that by hand.
Like, actually, let me do that before I do anything else, because then D3 here. Let me also get pull this to make sure I have the latest. Target to date. This should be D3. That one looks like it's taking a while because D3 is pretty big.
That's where the good stuff is.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's going to be really interesting to see, I think, is... Oh, I have to... Did it not?
D3001.
Yeah, it's a megabyte of knife separated values.
Love it.
Yeah, so now we have D3, and then we got a JSON, the D3 one. But okay, we'll do that in a second. So the thing is, though, right? It's like we have basically a summary of every commit message in the D3 project at this point. And I'd kind of want like,
you know what we should do is
part of me wants that in one CSV.
Make it a word cloud.
Huh? Well, yeah, there's a lot of things we could do with that, but like what I'm saying is, like, I think the next step is to make it one.
Yeah, I agree. We should make it one CSV, but I think that the best visualization output would be a word cloud of all the commit messages. That's all I was saying.
Sorry, I'm still like.
That's the best way. I would just try and do a hardcore, serious data analysis, and you're all trying to. So how do you? So you're gonna concat all of our knife SVs into a master knife SV that's like 3 megabytes?
Yes. Real quick, help me think about, oops. Wait, where am I? All right, so I have JSON to JSON. I want to run this code on, I'm just going to do it whoa, what is that?
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. I hit command.
What?
Command /, which usually comments something out. So this is a hacky thing I sometimes do. I'm just going to say like let repo equals D3, and it's going to. So now when I run JSON, it should like process. Yeah, so now we have the JSON for that. So now we have all of them in the same way. Let me undo that.
So wait, can I show you one more? Do you know about JQ, the command line tool?
No.
Do you want to just in another window brew install JQ, and we can come back to it in a minute? It's pretty sick.
Yes, installing. All right, so is that like, because one way I would tackle this combining thing is to like make a new file, like combine, and have it read in all the like the JSON files, and then like spit out a giant array, like either a giant JSON or like I said, a big CSV.
So you have another, you want to make like combine.js?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think you'd use the same, you've already done it. Like you just go through each thing in package.json and grab its .json, add it to a master array and stringify. right?
Exactly. So now we'll have the JSON for each of these. So the thing to think about is like, if we ignore the body, well, we need the repo, right? Like,
Yep.
so first of all, are you with me on making a CSV instead of a giant data?
Well, it's way easier to combine CSVs than it is to combine JSON, because that's how they're made. You can just append to the bottom. I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't really care. I've decided.
Let's do it like this. Let's do it all array. Or we'll do it like this, commits equals this. So then the JSON is a list of commits.
But then, yeah, and then you turn it into an object.
So, but yeah, for each JSON, each commit in the JSON,
Push it to
I want
commits.
to like push, or yeah, sorry, you're right, commits this, but I want to say like c.repo equals repo or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking that.
So we do this, but that's JSON. This would be a JSON file still. Then we want to use D3.
Or you could use MPX JSON to CSV. the highly useful shell.
All right, so if
node
we just
script.
make this a combined JSON for now, then this would actually give us. Then we could use a command line tool. You're saying?
Yeah.
I like that idea. Like, so they'll keep this processing simpler. The way I would do this would be to require D3 and use like D3 CSV parse or it's not parse. There's like another CSV thing. All right, and so there should be a combined at the top here. So it's 2 megabytes of JSON, and so if I do bat data combined, is it?
It might be ginormous for bat. Yeah. Looks good though.
So is JQ something that you were talking about? Is that for JSON?
So first, just cat your JSON into JQ. Yeah, and it should. You can explore it. Yeah. Okay. So now go up and then do. Well, it's not really going to help us in this particular instance, but you can do like dot, and that should be like the first thing in it. Like you can move up and down through JSON. Okay, let me give a better example. Cat package.json into JQ and then do dot scripts, and you'll get just the scripts out of package.json. You know what I mean? So like,
oh, interesting.
It's a way to navigate up and down JSON files just in the command line. And it's nice when you have huge data sets, like megabyte big JSON files, and you just want like one sample of it, or like work your way down into like sub objects of it. But let's try, entertain me.
1 second, you just made me think of something.
Okay.
Like, that didn't work. Oh, we're not doing ND JSON. That's right.
That would
Sometimes
ND
I'm used to
JSON
it
is
where
pretty
yeah,
cool.
it's like because it's just one giant list of JSON objects right now, right? Like a big array.
We'll turn it into ND JSON. Okay, so So I don't want to get distracted. MPX JSON number 2 CSV, and then the D3 CSV we just made. It may or may not work.
Okay, so the only issue I think, oh no, it's quoting out these things. So you're saying data combined. I didn't know NPX just did this. It was like in my computer already. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, you understand how npx works. Well, for the audience, it grabs the script off npm, runs it once, and you don't have to install it globally or anything. Like it just runs that command once and deletes it.
I had no idea it did that. That's great. All right, so we have a CSV here combined. So really, I mean, the real test of this would be to go here.
Yeah.
Upload the thing, our combined one. And then we could, I don't know, we'll do it down here somewhere.
How big is it?
It's at 1.5 megabytes.
All right.
I don't know why it's
a thick boy.
Slow. Maybe my internet's. Let's see. So commits are combined equals file attachments combined, and I think you can do CSV.
There you go. That's every commit 6,000. In every D3 repo ever?
Yeah. Every non-merge commit.
What does that mean?
I don't know. When you like merge, merge a branch or something, it like
yeah. Well, there's like squashing. I don't know what any of this shit was. I'm just gonna say a bunch of words: squashing, merging, forks.
Yeah, rebasing.
Rebasing.
It's like getting based, but rebasing. I don't know, man.
So that's
for people.
These are the non-rebase squashed forked commits. That's what you're saying to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. So you did it. Way to go.
Cool. Yeah, mission accomplished.
Wait, I'm sorry. We have 3 more minutes. Can we do one little like Vega visualization just to say that we also visualized it too? Can you summarize commits by author and then we'll make a bar chart of Mike Bostock's enormous bar, or do you hate that? It just seems like the easiest.
Well, yeah, like the way I typically do stuff like that I would just say like D3, I guess like group combined
author
by like d dot author.
Can't you just pass it author as a string in D3.group? Question mark? I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know. I don't think so. We could try.
Sorry.
That'd be interesting.
No, sorry.
Didn't like that. But yeah, I don't think we need a bar chart because
well, just do dot link. Just
almost 6,000 out of.
I just want to make a bar chart. I just want to visualize something. Can you turn it into a bunch of circles? I'm sorry that I'm like this.
I like that. I think we should make a bunch of circles. What do we usually do? We make
circles. Work.
And we can. And I think there's an option. What is it, like parsed? No, that didn't work. I forgot what it is. There's one thing to make the like auto parse the dates or the numdex, but like, yeah, let's make circles. So should we? There's 7,000 of them. So we make a canvas or something.
Well, I thought just for authors.
Oh, just for authors.
Yeah, let's make 171 circles. We don't have to size them or anything.
I kind of want to like. I think
you want to commit circles. All right, love it. Canvas with 7,000 circles, please.
All right. How do we do this?
I'm just mindful of your time since you have a hard out at 1 and we were going to sign off soon. It seems like a heavy endeavor.
Well, what would be great is if we used like Makio's motion blur thing to animate the canvas circles. I can't do that in 10 minutes. But I think we can draw 7,000 circles.
I like how your response to our time constraints was a more complicated thing. You're like, that's right, we do have no time. What if we do more? You're doing great. All right, so we got a canvas. It exists. You're gonna for each on our commits. Are we gonna do a force layout?
I think it's combined.
Should we put them in a force layout and tick it a few times, or what?
Well, here's my there's a couple of things. I do kind of want to see time. Like
same.
on the x-axis.
But then you have to parse
right?
dates and shit, you crazy motherfucker.
Oh, but that's easy. So
Aren't they
like,
in order? Aren't they in order? Aren't they in order?
no, because they're each repo is
Damn it.
in one chunk. It's fine. It's
All
fine. It'll
right.
be really easy.
Okay.
So if we say combined, and we do, well, yeah, let's say date is a function, d dot date. I think we want this. Oops. So if we say dates d, we don't use the plus. Let's do this. So yeah, it goes from 2013 to 2021. That's suspicious.
That is suspicious. Don't worry about it.
Well, see,
persist.
This is why
persist.
visualizing data is important.
Yeah. So let's pretend that we got all the data of D3 ever.
Yeah, we'll definitely be looking at this offline. And so, yeah, we can have our scale.
Yeah, a time scale. Or not.
Oh, right. Is it scale?
Scale time.
Domain.
Nice.
I don't know. And I guess if we just went here and did, what is it? Arc. This is what you always make fun of me for. So
Yeah,
it's,
I love it. Well, yeah, let's see if you can do it again because it changes every time. It's math.pi times 2 for like the third argument or something.
yeah. So if we make them 5 pixels, 0 math pi. Something. Yeah. So
It's like I'm learning. Now I know it.
yeah. Hey, a bunch of circles. They're too big.
C.fill equals D3.color categorical author.
Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Yeah, I should make the. What is it? Ordinal?
Yeah, when you get the D3.color scheme something, right? Or I can just...
Yes, I had, so I think this should be like authors equals this. And I think you can do something like
D3.scheme category 10 or something like that.
Alright. Maybe you don't need this. Oops.
Interesting. But wait, you never gave it any colors.
Huh? Oh, you're right.
It's like, what's gonna happen?
What is it?
Like you can do like well, I'll paste it in the chat, but like you can do D3.scheme something. It's like this.
Look at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I think that separating them out by repo would also be
Oh,
good.
on the y-axis? Yeah, that sounds sick.
Yeah, so the group would be combine repo. This is kind of interesting because like you can see a distribution of those. But I guess, yeah, Y scale, we'll do it out here. We'll also do an ordinal, I think, right? Repos.keys. 550. Should pull out. I'm doing some of this stuff weirdly, but Scale D dot repo. Kind of. Let's see. If I say Y scale D3 gives me 10 D3Es. Okay, that's not exactly. Is it scale? Maybe it's not ordinal.
It's not
like
ordinal.
Scale band.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed to have done something. Okay, didn't like D3.
Let me look it up.
Let me do. All right, ease. Zoom. Okay, fine. I'm doing some weird stuff for the sake of time here, but hey, look at that.
That's pretty dope.
Nice.
There's patterns in it. You could probably get fucking insights out of what you just made. Print it out and stare at it on a wall for a little while.
Download this PNG.
All right, do you want to mise en place a little recap of what we did this episode? And then we can get out of here a little early. I know you got a meeting.
Yeah. Let's also... And maybe this should be a repo, but like... I feel like this should be a... what is it? Like... History. I kind of want this to be a gist that we can...
You should get the GitHub command line tools, and you could just do GitHub, like, gist this repo, or whatever, this folder.
Can you... Yeah. Am I able to also, like... drag and drop files into it?
So do you brew install GH?
Yes.
Oh, or you
No
can
one
just
got
do
time
that.
for that.
All right.
It's not a secret yet.
Too good.
Create a public gist. All right, let's share that with the chat.
Great.
I will have that. Yeah, like I'm gonna have to clean up. So this notebook serves like two purposes right now. Probably gotta refactor it to like make it something that people could understand if they just came to it randomly. But I'll do that after the stream.
Totally. So do you want to do a quick little, do you want to start from the command line with git status and bring us to how we got to here?
Yes, git status, sorry. What do you mean git status?
Well, I guess even further back, let me try again. So I guess recap of the episodes, like we wanted to make a data set for the D3 community to visualize. So we start with git status, which shows the history of the repo, and then just take us from like the idea to what we did. 3, 2.
All right. Yeah, so today we wanted to use the command line to do some data processing like we often do in our daily lives. And the project we chose was to look at the Git history of the D3 project and use the Git commands to get this raw data. And we built a set of scripts that we made to process that raw Git data. Like what we downloaded all of the repos. Oh, I'm stuck in Vim. This is what happens. We learned a lot of Git and command line tips and tricks in the process. We ended up making a pretty cool data set that we want to give to the D3 community to visualize the history of D3, because it's about to be 10 years of D3. We uploaded that data into a notebook as part of the process to figure out how to parse. I think my favorite thing from today's episode was that we made a new data file format called the knife separated value. So we use knives. Yeah, shout out to Health and Earth is. And also the new lines are started with coffee, right? We're just continuing our coding with fire, cooking metaphors everywhere. We did do some processing, like a little bit of JavaScript processing, figured that out here in this iterative way. But that basically led us to getting this giant JSON or CSV file of all the commits for all the repos in the D3 project, almost 7,000. And in the end, we even made like a little visualization where each of these lines is a repo, the different colors are different authors, and but the real thing here is that we have like a nice, clean, structured data set that other people can take their own visualizations at, throw their own skills at. So yeah, it was a fun episode. A lot of command line hacking. I think we'll have to do it again. Yeah, nice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Uh, I think next Monday, just 2 weeks from today, I think is the current. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Uh-oh, EJ, your sound's not here. EJ was just thanking everyone profusely
Yeah, I just said
for
like a
joining
lot
us.
of really nice things
He
about
did say a lot of
how
nice
much I
things.
really
If
like
only
you
I could hear
guys
it.
and I appreciate you guys. But my mic is classic. Thank you to everybody for hanging out and joining the chat and being part of this. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
All right, bye guys.